This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the Just Chic OnLap 1302 portable monitor. This is pretty cool. It's a 13.3-inch monitor that's very thin and light. It's about 1/3 of an inch thick, and it actually has real video input connectors. That's it. It works with HDMI and VGA input, so this isn't using a USB port on your computer, and you don't need to use DisplayLink drivers, that kind of thing. And that also means you can plug into pretty much anything with an HDMI or VGA port. You can plug this into a PS3, into your smartphone like we have right now. We have it plugged into the Motorola Droid Razr Max Android smartphone that has a built-in HDMI port. You can use this with your tablet if it has an available HDMI out or VGA out, and of course your notebook computer too. And also another neat news for those of you who are more serious about your videography, we actually use this with our Canon Vixia HD camcorder, so we have a larger monitor so we can see what we're recording. Obviously this very second we can't use it, but normally we do plug it into the HDMI port on the camera. And if you need adapters, those are available. This has a standard HDMI connector and also comes with VGA, but you can always get micro to standard or mini to standard size adapters and various gender adapters. Like you can see right here, since the Motorola Droid Razr Max has a micro HDMI port and not a full-size HDMI port, we're using a micro HDMI cable with a gender changer right here. So there's all sorts of little fun doodads you can pick up if you need to connect a variety of things to this. Let's take a look at the monitor itself. Also, another nice thing about this, since this is not a USB-based monitor, you actually have controls. You can see these touch controls here, so you can do things like change your brightness and your contrast, that kind of thing. And these look like simple just touch controls, but you actually really have to push hard on them. There's no mechanical click going on back there, but you can see we've got contrast, brightness, color adjustment, color temperature, stuff like that. That's pretty handy. Now how does this get its power? It gets its power from a USB port. If you don't have a USB port that offers enough power, like obviously the Droid Razr Max has no USB power whatsoever, you can either buy a battery pack that's meant to go with this guy, or you can just use a standard 1 amp smartphone charger. Like we're using the iPhone charger right now, and I'll show you what I mean. This is the USB cord that comes out of the monitor. This is your standard little iPhone charger plug right here, and then we've got it plugged into, well, big old power cord. Also, Samsung smartphone chargers are 1 amp. They'll work just as well too. Now, if you're using this with your notebook computer, obviously you'll probably plug in either the VGA or HDMI cords. It comes with both. Right now we're using the HDMI cord, and here's the VGA cord. This big plug slides into the back flush on the back of the monitor. And there's your USB and VGA right here. And we'll plug it into the monitor output, and you'll plug the USB cord into the USB on the notebook so it can supply a charge. Now with some Ultrabooks, they don't put out a whole lot of power. They put out a 1/2 amp, and this really likes to have 1 amp. And on screen it's going to tell you if it doesn't have enough power, and it usually will warn you that it's going to shut down. But if you have one of the high-powered USB ports, that should work. So as you can see, it works just fine with our Razr Max right here, which supports portrait and landscape modes. And of course, a lot more portable than any regular monitor that you can drag around with you. So if you need to do presentations on the road with your tablet or with your smartphone, this is a great choice right here. And if we take a look at the OnLap, you can see it has a very reflective screen. It only has 200 nits of brightness. Right now we're at max brightness, and it's having trouble actually shining through the reflections of the display. So for $199, you're not getting a fancy-dancy IPS wonderful panel here. It has 500:1 contrast ratio, which is just okay. Actually, to look at it, the contrast ratio isn't all that bad. It displays 262,000 colors. And it's 1366 by 768 resolution, once again, and 13.3 inches. So here you can see the side view, very thin and nice looking, and really, really crazy light. If you take a look at the back here, kind of clean. It's plastic. They make it look like metal, and this is where the cable plugs in, the cable assembly. And this slightly strange thing is for mounting it on your notebook computer. If you want to actually have this side by side with your notebook computer, there's another piece that comes with that slides in here, and you use adhesive on the other piece to glue onto the back of your laptop. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really want to glue things onto the back of my laptop, and it comes with double-sided sticky tape, and they say it takes about 2 hours for it to fully adhere before you should trust it and try it. Me, personally, I would probably just prop this up, use a plate stand, or use the included blocks stand. This isn't exactly the most stable thing. You can see here it's just kind of fit together. It's got good weight, it's rubbery, it's not going to scratch anything, and it has good grip on the table, but yeah. But given how light the monitor is, it works. And you can piece the pieces together like so, you can see. So there's two positions. You can have it on the desk at that angle, depending on where you put these blocks, or you can have it more upright. So it does come with that as well. And now we've got the OnLap 1302 hooked up to our HP NV15 using the HDMI cable over here. And we're pairing it on the USB, one of the high-power USB ports, and you can see it's working just fine. We've got full native 1080p on the internal panel. It's running at 1366 by 768 as an extended panel. And we've done some color calibration on the OnLap monitor. By default, it's very cool. So we had to warm things up a little bit to get it right, because our NV is color calibrated and the colors are actually pretty good there. We've got a reasonably good match. And they're both set pretty close to high brightness, so it's not too bad at all. So definitely, if you need a separate monitor for a presentation or just a separate monitor to do two things at once, which many of us do these days, there's a very portable, light, easy solution that you can take with you anywhere. You can just lay this right on top of the back of your notebook, put them both in your notebook case, and take them on the go. So not bad. So overall, we like the OnLap a lot. There really are very few portable monitors that you can find that actually use HDMI or VGA output. It's light, it works with USB power, which is very handy. And the only complaint we have are the touch controls on the front. It's nice to have all of those settings. Again, that's something you don't find on a portable monitor, but they are really pretty hard to operate. You just got to keep tapping and pressing and tapping and pressing on those things to get them, but eventually you'll get there and it works just fine. And you can see we have the Newegg page up for the OnLap monitor. We're just going to drag it over to our other monitor. There you go, in case you haven't used a dual monitor setup. That's how it works, just as easy as that. And you can play a video on one monitor, have your web browser up in this one, anything you want to do. You just throw anything in any monitor, that kind of thing. So that's the OnLap 1302. It's available now. It's available at Newegg, and it sells for $199. Works with smartphones that have HDMI, tablets that have HDMI, obviously notebook computers, your PS3, pretty much anything with HDMI, your high-end camcorder, is all good. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Visit our website for the full review of the OnLap 1302.